Mimi kama mzazi nimefurahi sana, niko na furaha tele. Na ndugu jamaa na marafiki pia wamefurahi kwamba mtoto ambaye nimezaa ameweza kupata hiyo marks. Ni jambo la ajabu sana.
According to his teacher, Makoha Robinson was a hard-working and disciplined student.
Tumekuwa tukitarajia kwa miaka ambayo imeenda, tumekuwa tukitafuta kuwa among the top, tupate tu Kenya 1, hatukuwa kupata. Lakini leo Mungu amekutunukia, tumepata Kenya 1. We are grateful, we are very happy.
Otieno Lewis Omondi Glenn of St. Peter's Mumias Boys Primary School in Kakamega County was tied at the top with 431 marks. Nimrod Keith Ochieng of Elites Primary School, Kisumu, came in second with 429 marks. Mwaniki Baraka Mumo of Kerugoya Municipality scooped 424 marks, while Karl Baraka of Saverian Primary School, Kisumu, Amani Gilbert Ongoro of Moi Educational Center, Mutuiri Ryan of Kathiriki Mixed Public Boarding, all tied with 423 marks. Nadia Chepto Kemboy of Kapsabet Highlands, Nandi, wrapped up the top 5 positions with 422 marks. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Prime Edition.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu now says the government is on course in attaining their 100% transition.
Now, Timothy Kipnusu now reports while announcing the Kcpe results at Mitihani House in Nairobi. The CS hailed the tremendous improvement of the 2022 Kcpe results compared to the previous year. This despite the 2022 cohort having covered their grade 8 school calendar in just 6 months.
While releasing the results, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu revealed the score of the top candidate in the class of 2022 rose 4 points compared to 2021's top candidate to 431 marks.
In the 2022 Kcpe examination, overall performance improved compared to 2021, despite the difficult situation that faced this cohort of candidates. We are therefore very impressed with the Kcpe examination class of 2022 for performing very well and raising the standards.
All students who sat for the Kcpe results will transit to secondary schools in a move that will see the government attaining the 100% transition. The selection of the candidates to be admitted will be concluded by 16 January 2023. With the proposal to have junior high school domicile in primary school adopted, Machogu revealed the country now has adequate infrastructure to cater for all students transiting to high school.
The newly constructed classes in secondary schools that were initially meant for the junior secondary school level are now available to ease our strained infrastructure in the secondary schools. We therefore expect to have a relatively peaceful path to the achievement of the 100% transition policy of government during the Form 1 admission next year.
The CS revealed that it will have a meeting with the multi-agency committee on 3rd of January 2023 to agree on the guidelines that will effectively ensure a seamless transition from grade 6 primary to junior secondary. The Kenya Primary School Education Assessment Kcpe will not be used in the placement of learners in the junior secondary schools, but will act as tool of monitoring the learner progress.
I have directed the Kenya National Examination Council to upload the report of the assessment on the school portals in January 2023 to enable schools to develop strategies of further learning and teaching.
I would want to make a commitment that we shall continue with 100% transition of our candidates who have done Kcpe. Already the CEO has captured the spirit of Kcpe. I would not want to go back there, but we are prepared for them as they transit to junior secondary in our primary schools as guided by the President.
Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition.
In the meantime, thousands of students at TNET celebrating exemplary performance following the release of the 2022 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education results.
From Nairobi to Kakamega, parents, teachers and pupils said hard work had paid off, as evidenced by the excellent results.
The celebrations are replicated in several parts of the country. Take a look.
It has not been easy for us because we have not been sleeping. We revise a lot until this time now.
The journey has been tedious, but I want to thank the management and the teachers. They had been working hand in hand, assisting one another. The management had been providing the materials until we are able to achieve this result.
I scored 413 through hard work and prayer. I would like to be a doctor when I grow up, and my dream school is Alliance Girls.
The reason I've passed my exam is because of my hard work. I have learned that one should work smart and not hard. And my dream school, I would like to go to Kenya High, and my dream career is I would like to be a lawyer.
My teachers and everyone, yes, and vile nilipass ni ku work hard na preparation from day one. Una prepare. Nimepata 4.8 na ningependa kuwa engineer.
I feel very good to score 405 marks. It is not easy. It is something that requires hard work, determination, prayer, and you should always be disciplined.
As a pupil, we encountered maybe challenges, but the teachers were always there to curb them. Surely, may the Lord bless them. May the Lord also be with the pupils as they came into contact with the teachers. They asked questions, and surely we expected good results, and the Lord did not leave us.
The results were out. I'm happy standing here with my son, who managed 402. I'm just appealing to the government. These children that we are having in academic school are the same as children in the public schools. So just take the marks that they have got, place our learners in good schools, don't discriminate by taking the public schools and leaving out the private schools.
Wow, I know, butterflies. I don't know, Kcpe, can you remember the last time you were expecting results of your Kcpe? Where were you?
Well, where was I? Can't really remember where I was.
Were you tense?
But I remember I was very tensed. Obviously, the results of 8 years of hard work would keep you tense. But that's just it. Let them enjoy their moment.
I can imagine.
Absolutely.
I can imagine. Congratulations to all the candidates at a time when the government has confirmed that we're going to have 100% transition to Form 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 252 candidates from 9 examination centers engaged in exam malpractice.
And of course, in the 2022 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination, the Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu says that the pupils will be awarded 0 in the subjects they engaged in malpractices, and their overall marks computed less the subjects. The decision has ever been described as a slap on the wrist by education experts.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu says that the 2022 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination was conducted in a credible manner. Machogu says that this was enabled by the multi-agency team that was deployed to oversee the exercise.
Ministry of Interior, Teacher Service Commission, National Administration, ICT and Digital Economy helped to ensure that the 2022 Kcpe examination was free of malpractices.
Machogu says that this was enabled by the multi-agency team that was deployed to oversee the exercise across the country. The CS, however, announced that 252 cases of examination malpractice were reported across 9 examination centers in the country. He, however, assured those affected that they will join secondary school as their marks will be computed minus the affected subjects.
These candidates have been scored 0 in the subjects where they engaged in such malpractices. Nonetheless, the affected candidates' overall mark will be computed as the mark awarded in the affected subject. The candidates will receive their examination results and will transition to secondary school. This is in the spirit of the 100% transition policy.
According to Henry Indindi, who is a lecturer, allowing the learners to proceed is a great move, but might encourage such cases in the future.
We also need to talk about integrity and how much this is going to affect the integrity of our schooling system. Because if we encourage people to steal exams just because we are going to subtract or we are not going to tally that particular subject that was affected, then what happens if that student grows with that habit into the future?
In the 2021 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination, 320 candidates colluded to cheat, but their attempts were thwarted. Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
Of course, you're taking a breather on Prime Edition. When I come back with more news lined up for you, of course, concerning KCP, and later on, a conversation with Turkana Governor Jeremiah Ekamaisi Lomorkai.
We look forward to that.
Kupata rudisha pesa za Masai kama sikiza tune yako, bonyeza *811 *962 hash.
Iko mtu nasirisha mimi sana. Nasikia? Sema okay? Kama semi achukui, mimi napeleka pesa benki. Nafika benki, napatia pesa, alafu mtu mwingine nakuja na asema nataka loan, napatiwa ile pesa. Sasa mimi nashinda. Kwani mimi naleta pesa yangu wewe napatia mtu mwingine?
Kupata rudisha pesa za Masai, bonyeza *811 *962 hash. *811 *962 hash.
Hapa ni KBC Channel 1 Vitimbi, tunawatakia kila laheri katika sikukuu zote tuko nazo na mafanikio mema ya mwaka mpya. Na karibuni sana, na nashukuru kwa kutizama Vitimbi muda huo wote. Mwaka ujao sasa tutawaletea mapochopocho. Karibuni sana.
Welcome back. You're watching the Prime Edition.
Now, 4 papers, namely English, Kiswahili Lugha, Kiswahili Insha, and Kenyan Sign Language, recorded an improvement in performance compared to 2021 as females performed better in the 3 subjects, with their male counterparts performing better in 4 subjects.
Speaking of releasing the KCP 2022 results, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu said 6 subjects, however, were poorly performed in the 2022 KCP exam compared to 2021 classes. Kcpe Menza dissects the performance in gender and subjects in the just released 2022 KCP results.
Out of the 1,233,852 candidates who registered for the 2022 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education exams, 620,965 were males and 612,887 were females. The numbers translating to 50.32% and 49.67% respectively.
A clear indication that our country has achieved gender parity at the primary school level.
Education CS Ezekiel Machogu termed the overall performance impressive compared to 2021, regardless of the challenges faced by the pupils, including the shortened calendar necessitated by the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I wish to thank all the stakeholders, especially parents and teachers, for withstanding the financial and the teaching pressures, respectively. They came with their shorter school terms as forced upon us by the COVID-19 pandemic.
In the exams, English, Kiswahili Lugha, Kiswahili Insha, and Kenyan Sign Language were well performed compared to 2021. However, the candidates' performance dropped in English composition, sign language, mathematics, science, social studies, and religious education. While females performed better in arts such as Kiswahili, English, and sign language, and males did well in science subjects including mathematics, science, social studies, and religious education, CS Machogu says there is a clear pattern in the gender subject performance that is worrying.
I wish to direct the quality assurance and the standards to find ways of addressing the gaps that might be causing the performance of either gender, as there seems to be a pattern where girls beat boys in specific subjects each year and vice versa.
Marsabit, Isiolo, and Meru had a significant entry of more females than males, as Turkana, Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera had more entries of the male gender. 31,494 candidates of 12 years and below registered in the 2022 exams, compared to the 33,627 recorded in 2021. The decline, according to CS Machogu, indicates that parents and teachers are on the right track in enrolling children in schools. The entries for 12 years and below are highest in Baringo, Wajir, Kericho, Bomet, and West Pokot. Counties of Garissa, Turkana, Kilifi, Kwale, and Mandera had the highest entries of candidates above 18 years of age. Kcpe Menza for Prime Edition.
Jubilation filled the air in different schools in Mombasa County as they celebrated the just released KCPE results this afternoon, or earlier this afternoon.
Now, most schools have recorded an improvement in their KCPE mean grades.
These were the scenes that met the release of the 2022 KCPE results in parts of Mombasa County after the KCPE results were announced this afternoon. Those who posted exemplary performance were elated by the results and attributed them to hard work and perseverance.
Getting these marks, I don't take it for granted, and I want to thank God for He enabled us and enabled me to do the exam well, with great health and without any disturbances, and I want to thank Him for He enabled me to get these marks, and I hope to go to Alliance Girls High School.
All this through hard work, teachers support, parents, and I would like to join Alliance High School.
They urged their colleagues who are still in primary school to stay focused and dedicate their time to studies if they are to get good grades.
I like to tell them that the examination is not hard. You just have to put hard work. You have to be determined. You have to put God first in everything you do. And it will be an amazing journey. It was an amazing experience here in Mary Joy. And I urge you to do your best. The exam is not hard at all.
And my advice to the class 844 class is listen to your tutors, listen to their advice, and most do more revision by yourself, and you will get those marks that you want to get.
I would also like to encourage the other ones to work hard also. Also the coming candidates who are going to do the same exam. This exam, let no one to lie to you that this exam is hard also, or is. It depends with your hard work.
The teachers and school directors also expressed their joy in how the students performed to elevate their mean grade.
I want to thank the candidates for the discipline they had. They were disciplined, they were hardworking, and for sure, they worked as a team. That's why we are here today, celebrating the good results.
Very, very pleased with the results. Last year we had very good results. This year again we have very good results. We have done even better. We had a mean score of 356 last year. We have a mean score of 358 this year. We are very, very pleased.
So this year's performance and the good results is dedicated to the hard work of our teachers, our candidates, and also the support from the school management and the parents.
For Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I am Anne Mburu.
All right, that's Mombasa. Let's head over to Kisumu, where Golden Elites Academy in that county produced the third best candidate in the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education Examination results released today.
Nimrod Keith Ochieng scored 429 marks out of a possible 500 in what the school staff says is an improvement from last year's results.
Most schools in the county posted improved mean grades, and now as Wycliffe Okech reports.
Immense joy and excitement was the mood across Kisumu County as top performers celebrated their achievement. Nimrod Keith Ochieng of the Golden Elites Academy emerged top of his class of 110 candidates and third nationally after scoring 429 marks out of the possible 500.
Okay, I feel very happy since I didn't expect this kind of results. It's the incessant teaching of our teachers, the support that we got from our parents, and the time-to-time consolation that I took from my teachers.
I think this is one of the best schools that I would ask most of the parents to bring their children, because teachers here are very dedicated. And of course, you can see the product.
Similar scenes replicated in many other schools in what staff attributed to dedication and hard work.
My target was 424, but at least I got something that can make me happy.
Today, I'm very much elated for these results. First and foremost, I want to thank the Almighty God for these good results.
I'd like to thank my teachers and my friends for helping me reach this far. And mostly I'd like to thank God, and I'm very thankful for the results.
I'm grateful for the result that we have received. And so far, we have the highest mark of 421. This is an improvement from last year's marks. And we also have several 400s, in fact, over 10. So we are dedicating this result to the hard work that was done with the teachers, support from the management, and for the parents.
We are grateful to God, most importantly, for the mercies that He's given to us, and most importantly, the teachers who work tirelessly. And we cannot forget the selfless learners who burnt the midnight oil in the back-to-back terms. That was really difficult. We know they had burnout, but nonetheless, they have successfully posted very good results.
For Prime Edition, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Away from the examination results, let's focus on another matters happening in the country. President William Ruto has said the government will ensure the police have adequate resources to execute their mandate. He said the government will also work towards improving the working conditions of police officers. He made the remarks on Wednesday during the official opening of the National Police Leadership Academy in Ngong, Kajiado County.
President William Ruto has asked police officers to be professional and keep off politics as the government moves to take care of their welfare.
The bigger role is in the shoulders of our security men and women. And we will support you. We will go out of our way to make sure that we make it easy for you to deliver on your mandate.
He made the remarks during the official opening of the National Police Leadership Academy in Ngong, Kajiado County.
Bwana IG, the ministry is going to get in touch with you so that you can tell us where you have adequate space for us to be able to build affordable houses so that your men and women can have reasonable accommodation and they can live decently.
The Presidential Task Force on terms, conditions, and other reforms within the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service.
President William Ruto on Wednesday appointed a task force to look into the reforms in the police service. Meanwhile, President William Ruto has commissioned a tree growing fund to ensure the country achieves the target of planting 15 billion trees in 10 years.
30 trees per year surely is not too much to ask. Even if we can plant 30 trees per week or per month, we can actually attain these 15 billion trees sooner than we have projected.
kila sherehe katika Jamhuri ya Kenya iandamane na upandaji wa miti.
The head of state directed chiefs to focus on rallying communities within their localities to plant trees for posterity. As the country strives to achieve the 15 billion trees by 2032, President William Ruto has urged Kenyans to ensure they plant a tree each and every opportunity they get first to ensure we reverse the effects of climate change. Reporting for Prime Edition from Ngong Hill Forest, I'm Ruth Wamboi.
Now, the Director of Public Prosecution, Udin Haji, has called for respect of public institutions, saying they must be allowed to execute their mandate according to the Constitution. Speaking at the launch of the 2022 election report, Haji also defended the decision to drop murder charges against Gender Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa, saying the investigator did not submit sufficient evidence to charge her.
It is during the launch of the 2022 election report that the Director of Public Prosecution, Nordin Haj, noted that undermining independent bodies was uncalled for.
It is uncalled for when certain individuals refer to constitutional offices as busybodies. The Constitution is very clear on the mandates of each and every constitutional office.
Faulting recent remarks made by the Inspector General of Police, Japheth Koome, on the use of excessive force by police, Haj noted that such action should be investigated and prosecuted to guard human rights violation.
And those who feel that the judgments or decisions made by independent institutions are going against the Constitution, then they are free to go and challenge those decisions in various forums. But to taint and to demean those offices, that is uncalled for.
On the decision to drop the murder charges against Cabinet Secretary Gender Aisha Jumwa, the DPP say they did not receive enough evidence from the investigator.
We have withdrawn it under 87A. The matter is going to the DCI, and if there is additional evidence to show that she was actually involved or she pushed this person to do it, then the case will, for that matter, will be in court.
The Office of the Public Prosecution, through its election report, indicated that 131 election-related offences were recorded. Nairobi and Narok were among the counties that recorded the highest number of election offences, with Kilifi, Kiambu and Marsabit recording the least number of election-related offences.
Out of the 131 cases recorded, 59 cases are pending before court and 49 cases are pending further investigations. We further registered 4 convictions, 1 withdrawal, and have finalized 16 files.
For Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
Mama, nakuomba tafadhali, kama nimefanya makosa yote na kuapia ni shetani, nisamee mama.
Umekosea nini?
Unadhani labda nilikosea kwa chana nani?
Wewe, muone hilo bicho lake sijui kitu gani.
Tatizo ni mama yenu. Tatuua bwana.
Yaani mimi nakesha hapa dingo nikikusubiri wewe, kumbe mwenyewe kwenda kulewa huko
Umekula nini kama leo?
Cheza loto, shinda pesa moto.
Wachua mamili leo na loto moto. Cheza ukianzia na shilingi 50 na ushinde milioni 2 kila siku. Kucheza ni rahisi zaidi. Kwenye M-Pesa, chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number, weka 757070. Account number, andika neno loto. Kisha, weka star. Alafu nambari yako ya simu. Kwenye amount, weka kiwango chochote cha pesa. Kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2000. Lipa na usubiri draw. Makinika papa hapa ili utimize ndoto zako na Loto Moto. Cheza kwa kuwajibika. Mchezo huu ni wazi kwa watu walio na umri wa miaka 18 na zaidi. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB. Cheza Loto Moto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
Welcome back. You're watching Prime Edition. It was a big day today because President William Ruto celebrated his 56th birthday in a colorful ceremony at the State House, Nairobi. The president, who was joined by the First Lady, members of the First Family and invited guests, used the occasion to push for the realization of the country's forest cover. Here is Teresa Mutai with the details.
Fun, dance and celebrations rocked the State House during President Ruto's birthday. The birthday celebration was graced by presidential staff, children who enjoyed a series of events and different types of games throughout the day. The end-year party hosted by the First Family also doubled up as their anniversary. The First Lady congratulated the candidates and urged them to accept the results attained, and further urged parents to continue supporting their children and take care of them during the festive season.
We want to wish you God's blessings, and parents want to say thank you so much for the work that you continue to do even in State House and in the office of the President. We appreciate you. And to those that did class 8, I want to say congratulations to all our children, our candidates all over the country. I know the results are out today, and there are those maybe that did very well. They are celebrating. There are those maybe who feel they did not meet the target they wanted. Maybe they are a little bit down, but I want to say that in our nation, Kenya, every child matters, and we celebrate every child.
President Dr. William Ruto, in the celebration spirit, planted a tree at the State House to mark the day. He thanked the children that had convened for the celebrations and later on proceeded to cake-cutting ceremony.
I want you guys to know that I love all of you. Nawapenda sana. Mnanielewa? You people are great. You have come here to celebrate this day with me, and I wish you the very best. All of you, the children of Kenya, you are the very reason why as parents we work hard, we work smart, so that we can give you a chance to be your best. Congratulations!
This year's unique presidential birthday, celebrated by the 5th president as his first in power, was marked by tree planting at Ngong Forest, and later on the celebrations were concluded with enormous, magnificent fireworks. For Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
Many more years filled with success and bliss for you, Mr. President, as you turn 56. Now the government will use the public Wi-Fi hotspots being launched countrywide to lower the cost of data and at the same time ensure a seamless move to e-commerce. ICT and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo, speaking exclusively to Kenya Broadcasting Corporation on the commemoration of 100 days since President William Ruto took over reins of power, says the recently launched Hustler Fund is on course to making millions of Kenyan entrepreneurs instead of job seekers.
The government intends to roll out 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots across the country, already having launched several in Wakulima, Muthurwa and City Markets in Nairobi, and another in Nyeri Town. The plan, according to ICT and Digital Economy CS Eliud Owalo, is to leverage on ICT to re-engineer Kenya's economy.
We are not just thinking of reducing the cost of data. We are going to step forward to provide free Wi-Fi in integral components of the Kenyan society, like markets, schools. And then we are going a step further to establish and operationalize a total of 1,450 digital hotspots. Now, with that in place, we can then move to the next level and think of how we want to leverage on technological platforms to facilitate delivery of government services.
The CS who spoke to KBC Channel 1 on the government's scorecard since President Ruto came to office asserted government's commitment to transform the economic fortunes of Kenyans through the Hustler Fund.
Overall, with this intervention in the market, we are going to get more people who are hitherto not having anything to do, getting into productive economic activity. When this happens, and leveraging on technological developments we are introducing into the financial space, which I will espouse or articulate shortly, we are bringing in more people into the tax bracket.
As part of his legacy, CS Owalo once more committed himself to the transformation of the national broadcaster KBC through funding and restructuring of its business model.
We must have a turnaround strategy. The operational environment in which KBC is operating today is different from the environment it was operating in 20 years ago, where it could constantly rely on government support to do what? To survive. We have to rethink the model, the business model that KBC is deploying.
With shifting dynamics in the media industry, the CS promised to champion for the freedom of the media, even as he called for closer collaboration between government and the sector.
The government is a stakeholder, media is also a stakeholder. How do we work together? Because as government, Kenya Kwanza government, our focus is on delivery of services to the To the common mwananchi. We will give the media houses the freedom, the press freedom that is enshrined in our constitutional dispensation, but we also need objectivity.
And our former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko has been acquitted in a case in which he was charged with embezzlement of funds amounting to 24 million shillings from Nairobi County coffers. In a judgment delivered by anti-corruption magistrate Douglas Ogoti, the court found that the charges were defective.
Mike Mbovi Sonko has been handed reprieve by the courts in a 24 million shillings graft case. Anti-corruption magistrate Douglas Ogoti in setting Sonko free ruled that the charges were defective.
You will remember this case had a lot of drama. The arrest of Mr. Sonko, the impeachment. It seems to me from this case that this case was ill-conceived. Leo Mungu ametenda haki, ametoshilia. Sina hata mambo mingi ya kuongea kwa sasa. Nataka nitulie, alafu nitapeana a comprehensive statement later.
Sonko had been arraigned in 2019, had also been charged with other counts of money laundering, receiving bribes, and conflict of interest. The Director of Public Prosecution, Nordin Haji, however, says he's going to appeal the acquittal of the former Nairobi governor and others.
We are going to challenge that decision based on the fact that that charge sheet was not defective and the magistrate himself was involved in pre-trial, and we have records of him going through the charge sheets and agreeing and giving an approval for us to proceed.
Haji knows that they have enough evidence to see the case proceeds for trial. Seraphine Nairobi for Prime Edition.
Wachua mamili leo na Loto Moto. Kucheza ni rahisi zaidi. Kwenye M-Pesa, chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number, weka 757070. Account number, andika neno Loto, kisha weka star. Alafu nambari yako ya simu. Kwenye amount, weka kiwango chochote cha pesa, kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2000. Lipa na usubiri draw. Cheza kwa kuwajibika. Mchezo huu ni wazi kwa watu walio na umri wa miaka 18 na zaidi.
Good evening and thank you for watching Prime Edition. Time to get the latest in the world of business. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, the government has been encouraged to consider reviewing the National Trade Policy 2016 to align its policies with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis Executive Director Rose Ngugi says this will help Kenya pursue free trade agreements with focus on products that offer Kenya high returns for exports and imports.
No, but see.
In October this year, Kenya exported tea to Ghana, its first regional export or consignment under the African Continental Free Trade Area pilot phase. Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis is now urging the government to reconsider revising its National Trade Policy 2016 to align its objective with AfTA and other trade agreements. The revision, the Institute says, will go a long way in mapping out all products exported to and imported from African countries to inform export policies that will unlock opportunities for Kenyan producers.
The green sector is very critical in the development process because it has a wider multiplier effect. It helps to absorb excess labor from the agricultural sector, but our manufacturing is vulnerable. Is vulnerable because a significant proportion of the farms are MSCs. MSCs have low capacity for resilience because of the kind of technology that they have, the kind of business environment that they find themselves, and even the kind of products that they are producing. Yeah?
This as the Institute projects the economy to grow by 5.8% in 2022, supported by all service sectors, including accommodation and food services at 52.5%, education 21.4%, arts, entertainment and recreation 13.7%, financial and insurance 12.5%, information and communication 8.8%, wholesale and retail trade at 7.9%, and transport and storage at 7.2%. To cushion Kenyans against the high cost of living occasioned by the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the ongoing drought, Kcpe is advising the government to increase irrigation activities as a countermeasure to soaring food prices.
We are able to focus attention on agriculture to enhance productivity, to bring in new technology, climate-smart practices, and also to do irrigation. Yeah? This would help to enhance food production, and I feel that matters of food scarcity in the country and therefore food inflation will be something of the past.
The food security and climate change will thus become an important policy pillar in Kenya. As such, I agree with the recommendations of the report that building resilience of the economic system is a priority in enhancing the ability of the country to withstand negative shocks and stressors and recover quickly.
The report recommends sustaining macroeconomic stability with growth-oriented demand management policies and intensified COVID-19 vaccination drive. Wairi Mujenga for Prime Edition.
Now, feed millers have been allowed to import 350,000 tons of yellow maize duty-free for 1 year to curb the high cost of animal feeds in the country. The import license will only be issued to register feed millers who are only required to import non-GMO grain.
Just days after the government announced it will open a 7-month duty-free import window for rice and maize to cushion Kenyans against high food prices, the government is also set to zero-rate yellow maize imports. The Ministry of Agriculture says the move is aimed at reducing the cost of animal feeds that currently oscillate at an average of 3,500 to 4,000 shillings, considerably increasing the cost of production. To facilitate the yellow maize imports, the Ministry of Agriculture is finalizing the gazettement of a 1-year yellow maize duty-free import window. According to Association of Kenyan Feed Manufacturers, the government has only allowed them to import non-GMO yellow maize due to the ruling by the High Court that stopped the importation and distribution of GMO foods in the country. The association says only registered feed millers will be allowed to import the grain, to deter traders from selling yellow maize to residents in drought-stricken areas. Feed millers say Mexico, Ukraine, and Romania have ready grain, urging the government to speed up gazettement of the import window to allow them purchase the yellow maize in time before the supply dries up. Feed millers have been encouraged to consider supporting contract farming system for local production of raw materials used for feed production to lower the cost of feed and reduce the country's import bill. Benson Rioba for Prime Edition.
And persons belonging to special interest groups such as women, youth and people living with disabilities say they are yet to fully exploit the East African market due to weak trade policies. The traders say the weak policies have locked them out of the market, calling on crafting of friendly, inclusive trade and reduce trade barriers and enhance integration within the EAC trading bloc.
New data prepared by the African Development Bank in collaboration with the African Union Commission shows that while the EAC is generally supportive of integration and regional trade, members of the bloc have retained certain non-tariff barriers that curtail the movement of people within partner states. Special interest traders say the existing integration policies are not strong on facilitating intra-trade among women, youth and people living with disabilities in the EAC bloc.
We know that in most companies that grow coffee, women do contribute a lot. But you find that since they can't afford to reach here, to reach like at the final market, you find that their story ends where? In the village. Businesses like Ndabaga Women's Coffee are now calling for crafting of policies that will strengthen the participation of special interest groups in the EAC trading bloc.
Kwa hiyo kitu kikubwa ambacho natamani kuona watu wanakifanyia kazi ni kutangaza haya maonyesho, kuhakikisha wanapeleka taarifa kwenye vyuo vikuu, kwenye maeneo yote ili vijana haswa wajue kwamba kuna fursa kama hii. If I'm to connect with someone from Kenya with coffee, she might say, "Oh wow, you was the best," and I might say, "Oh wow, you was the best too." And you find that we can work together. We connect to those women from Kenya who grow coffee, as well as those in Rwanda, from Uganda, from Tanzania, from Congo, and South Sudan, and Burundi. According to the Africa Visa Openness Index, while the EAC had one of the highest openness scores in 2017, that grade dropped last year as member states increased and individual member states imposed their own restrictions, thereby affecting trade. Yanatupa nafasi ya kufahamiana na kujua nchi fulani kuna fursa gani. Hizi ni fursa. Kwa hiyo kuja kwenye maonyesho kama haya kuna fursa nyingi ambazo vijana wengi ningewahamasisha waje. Kuna vijana wengi wako mtaani hawana ajira. EAC member states have been seeking to align trade policies to enhance cross-border trade by involving special groups.
For you from the business side of things, we shall be bringing you sports news. Karen Kcpe is standing by to give you the latest on that arena. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Bye-bye.
Sisi kama wanavitimbi hapa mwaka ikiisha na ingine ikianza tunakuambia tu kitu moja. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Welcome to 888bet Casino, a world of winning opportunities 24 hours a day. Choose from thousands of games across live casino, table and slots, including favorite titles Burning Classics, Wolf Gold, and The Amazing Aviator. But hurry, 1 million is to be given away before 31st December. Join the thousands of winners playing 888bet Casino daily. Play today on www.888bet.co.ke. 888bet Casino, made to win bigger.
Welcome back. I do hope you're holding up well. It's now time for us to take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. My name is Kcpe. Now, AFC Leopards were held to a barren draw by visitors Kakamega Homeboys in a closely contested Football Kenya Federation Premier League match played at Manyara National Stadium. Former league champions Gor Mahia enhanced their chances of reclaiming their title after beating Bandari FC 1-0 at the Kasarani Stadium. The team lies third in the standings with 10 points, 2 behind leaders Tusker FC. Homeboys, who were held to a barren draw by AFC Leopards, are second on 11 points. In other matches, Ulinzi Stars defeated FC Talanta 3-0 at the Kasarani Annex, while Sofapaka drew 1-1 with Kenya Police. City Stars also drew 1-1 against Kariobangi Sharks, while Wazito FC played to a barren draw against Bidco United.
We wanted the 3 points. We came looking for 3 points, but we have not managed to get them. But we are happy with the 1 point, considering that we played away.
The league of AFC Leopards will resume in January, because in January we should have more players, and I should be able normally to train and to use all my group.
Kenya retained their Mombasa Open International Tong Ilmudu Martial Arts title after beating the Philippines to the second position at the Aga Khan Academy Hall in Mombasa. Kenya won a total of 185 medals, 46 gold, 54 silver and 85 bronze respectively. The Philippines, at a distant second, bagged 11 gold, 5 silver and 18 bronze, amassing a tally of 34 medals. Korea, ranked among the world's top teams, finished third overall. They won 6 gold, 2 silver and 5 bronze. Next year's event is scheduled to take place at the same venue, and more countries are expected to take part in the event that boosts the country's sports and tourism. Reigning Africa Volleyball Club champions KCB have completed the signing of setter Esther Mutinda from Kenya Pipeline ahead of the Kenya Volleyball Federation League playoffs slated for next month. The Malkia striker setter joins the Japheth Munala-led side, having played for Kenya Pipeline for 3 years. She was part of the team that won bronze at the Africa Club Championship in Kelibia, Tunisia. Mutinda said her main goal at the club is to win the Africa Club Championships. The Lionesses are set to break for Christmas festivities this Friday and will be back in action for the 2022 league playoffs, set to be held between the 13th and 15th of next month at the Makande Indoor Gymnasium in Mombasa County.
I know Esther Mutinda is a national team player, is a good player, and I'm happy to have her in my team, and I hope they're going to propel KCB to higher heights. As per now, as you can see, we are from just from the training. Most of the teams have taken the Christmas off, but because we are beaten in Eldoret, we feel that if we train extra hard, it will be easy for us to retain the trophy, to gain the national trophy.
We feel glad, we are very happy to be joined by one of the experienced players who is in fact one of the best setters in the country, and coming to joining us, that means it's a plus for us, because many years we didn't have such setters in the country.
I'm so happy because I know I'm under the best coaches, national team coaches, and even the best team, because the team is the one which is having the trophy from Africa. Yes, and I know that we are going even to play very well in playoffs, even we are going to defend our trophy. I'm here to give them the best.
And those are all the sports stories we had for you. And today being the day that the Kcpe results were released, I'd personally love to congratulate my baby sister Natasha Chemtai for scoring 405 marks from St. Mary's Girls Boarding Bomet. Congratulations, we are so proud of you. All the best in your next journey. That's all for me from Kcpe. I'll see you tomorrow with more sports news, but the bulletin is not yet over, as I do hand you back to my colleagues Regina Manyara and John Jacob Kioria for more.
Well, congratulations to your sister once again, as well as over 1 million candidates who are going to be transiting to Form 1 as government implements its 100% transition to Form 1. Congratulations once again.
Alright, so we put a cap on Prime Edition, and indeed great thanks to Lens Odingo, who was a sign language interpreter. And because I may not see you again up until the festivities are over, that is after the 29th, I want to wish you happy holidays. Up next is our conversation with Turkana Governor Jeremiah Ekamaisi Lamurkai on his vision on Turkana County. Good night.
I allow myself to interact with people very closely, and I talk with them. I engage with all the people, all the mamas, wazes. I think you can see outside there, you can see some old men sleeping in some corner, some youth also staying in some side outside there. I think you've seen a bulging population as the day grows. It's now almost 9, but when we exit from there, you can get so many people because they believe when they come to me, they will be maybe given a cup of tea. My wife here will cook a very big. We'll put on the cooker a very big sufuria, preparing tea for them. And I think you've seen them, everybody may be having a cup of tea. That is basically what happens here. This is not a political life. I grew up like this, but I'm born up of a politician. My father was a politician. I started as a councillor during the defunct councils. I was a councillor for 2 terms. And then I was elected as MCA for the biggest ward, well-populated ward in this county, called Turkwel Ward. And then Member of Parliament for Lohima. You see, for all that period, even the period alone will tell you, because being a councillor from 2002 to date, that one alone tells you what kind of a person am I. Because that one informs that maybe there is how I interact with people. I live ordinary life, and people always feel I should be given the next position, bigger position, because I will be accountable to them. They will reach out to me. I will very simple. In fact, nobody will even know that I'm a governor. In ordinary circumstances, if somebody comes against me in town, maybe when they see people crowding me, they will be questioning, maybe this could be other. But in simple circumstances, nobody will realize I'm a governor because I live ordinarily. I stay with people, and I just want to take the position of that simple person in the community there. The first thing I want to deal with, or the problem I want to deal with in this county, is the issue of water. You see, our county faces challenges on the side of water services. I want to try. I've just told you there is underground water. God denied us rain, but God puts water underground so that we can use other means to really exploit that water for both domestic and human consumption. I think if I drill water, some mega projects, water projects in Turkana County, in every sub-county, and also in more developed villages, I think we will be able to cut the problems we have now for water into a manageable position. So water to us is one issue. We want to explore the aquifer that is here, both for crop production and also for animal production. or the animal products also support programs. Like Lodwar here, we have a main river called River Turkana, which flows throughout the year. And then we have another one called Kcpe. The water running downwards towards the lake is not really tapped. So we need also to try to increase the reservoirs that will make us tap this water and use it for a long time. And like drilling a borehole during the dry season, the same borehole now dries up and people fail to get water for use. So I want to invest so much into water infrastructure to try to facilitate support for our pastoralist community, the people in urban and peri-urban areas. That's exactly basically one thing I want to do. Number two is issues of security. There is, I told you this county is prone to many problems, and one of that is insecurity. We are surrounded by many hostile communities. On this the northern part, and even the northeast, and even the northwest, and even western part of this area, we border 3 countries. From the west, we border Uganda, and then on the northern part, this side, we have South Sudan, and then towards the east or the northeast, we have Ethiopia. All those countries have their they also practice pastoralism. So we compete and fight because of resources, and sometimes because of some culture of just wanting to kill and maybe wanting to steal from a neighbor. So we fight all through. And then when you come inside from the North Pokot here, extending up to Samburu, across the lake. So no part in Turkana is secure, including even Lake Turkana, the waters. No part is secure. Another one is actually to try to you see, with this issue of Kenya Power, this energy we are using, Kenya Power is even giving us a headache. And in Turkana, we are able to tap the wind power. You go to our lake here, you can't even sleep. If you sleep in an open area, you can't sleep because the winds are blowing badly, even during the night, during the day. If we tap the wind so that we produce wind power, which we can even sell to the neighbors, we can even sell to Samburu, we can even sell to Ethiopia, that wind. So we want to tap the wind so that the same wind, by tapping it, we will be able to employ, even increase employment for the youth and women within those particular areas. And then our base of income, of revenue generation will increase. And then in our next financial budget, we'll now put enough money. I'm now talking with the NGOs to help us, because we want now to erect a better hospital in this county than have that old thing we are calling a referral hospital. It's not serving the people to the expectation of this county and even the population. And our population is totally untapped. The other need was 1.5 during the last census, because the last regime wanted to kill Turkana. So they played our numbers so that we are not seen in the picture of an area that has a better population. So there is enough population here that needs services of a better hospital, because we are getting enough money from government, though it's little when you put it into the services. But we need to put that level 6 hospital. We are intending now to employ some about 16 specialists that will stop us from going to a referral hospital elsewhere. We want to invest so much in food production. These intervention programs on relief are just purely temporary. But I am trying to build a premonition where Turkana will be able to produce a lot of food and even supply that food to other areas, even Trans-Nzoia, which is the main supplier of maize into this country or foodstuffs. But I believe one day we will be now taking much food than they used to bring to us, to other parts of this country, because we have very rich soil. What we lack is water, but God has provided water from underground. We have underground water, and we want to exploit that water. Like behind us here, we have an aquifer called Napu. If I put money in the next financial year, enough money to drill even 10, 15 boreholes, and then we start now expanding the acreage that we will use for food production. I think the people of Turkana will start producing enough food. And then even other, not only along the main rivers, the main permanent rivers, but in Turkana, you can drill anywhere and get water. And if that is used now to produce food, then our people will get enough food. That is what will curb the suffering this country has been undergoing through for many years.